The house that breathed back. No one noticed when the house began to breathe. It wasn't obvious at first. Just a faint sound in the walls at night, like air moving through lungs that didn't exist. The realtor called it settling. The neighbors said old houses always made noise, but houses aren't supposed to inhale. I moved in alone. That mattered. The house seemed to know it. The first night, I woke at 2:17 a.m. for no reason at all. No dream, no sound. Just the sudden, sharp awareness that something was listening. I lay still, counting the seconds between breaths, when I heard it, slow, deep, patient, coming from inside the walls. In, out, not pipes, not wind, breathing. I sat up, heart pounding, and the sound stopped immediately. The silence felt disappointed. The house learned my schedule quickly. It creaked when I slept, whispered when I showered, groaned softly when I sat still too long. Whenever I moved, it pretended to be normal. Whenever I stopped, it tested me. I began hearing footsteps above my bedroom. The problem was the house only had one floor. One night, I called out, half joking, half terrified. "Hello?" The house responded by exhaling. Dust fell from the ceiling like dandruff from a massive skull. The sound came from everywhere at once, slow and deliberate, as if the structure itself were relieved I'd finally acknowledged it. That was my first mistake. Things escalated after that. Doors I closed were open again, but only halfway, as if someone didn't want to be seen yet. Reflections in the windows lagged behind me by half a second. I'd turn, and my reflection would still be smiling. I stopped sleeping. At 2:17 every morning, the breathing returned, louder now, closer. Sometimes it came from beneath the floorboards, sometimes from behind my bedroom door, sometimes from directly above my face, like the ceiling was hovering inches from my nose. One night I whispered, "What do you want?" The walls answered with a sound I will never forget. They spoke my name, not out loud, not in my ears, inside my chest, vibrating through my ribs like a second heartbeat. I tried to leave. The front door wouldn't open, not locked, just resistant, like pushing against a living thing that didn't want to let go. The windows wouldn't break. My phone had signal, but every call connected to dead air filled with soft breathing, in, out. The house was awake now. The hallway stretched longer than it should have. Rooms rearranged themselves when I wasn't looking. The bathroom mirror showed a version of me that blinked too slowly, its mouth sometimes moving when mine didn't. And then, the house started getting closer. The walls subtly leaned inward. The ceiling sagged like a ribcage collapsing. The breathing synced with my own, forcing me to match its rhythm. When I tried to hold my breath, the house did too. That's when I realized the truth. It wasn't copying me. It was practicing. On the 6th night, I found a room that hadn't been there before. A door at the end of the hallway, narrow, damp, warm to the touch. Inside was a small space, barely big enough to stand. The walls were soft. The floor pulsed gently beneath my feet. And carved into the far wall, over and over again, were words etched deep into something that looked uncomfortably like flesh. "Stay still. Let it learn. We needed a lung." I turned to run. The door was gone. The room inhaled. I don't know how long I was inside. Time didn't behave normally anymore. Each breath I took made the room swell slightly. Each exhale made it tighten, hugging me closer. The house wasn't haunting me. It was becoming me. When I finally screamed, the sound didn't echo. It was absorbed, processed, improved. The walls whispered back, perfectly mimicking my voice, "Help me." Then it laughed, with my laugh. I woke up on the living room floor the next morning. Sunlight streamed through the windows. Birds chirped. The house was quiet, normal, still, too still. I ran outside. The door opened easily. The air smelled fresh. I didn't stop running until I reached the road. No one believed me. Of course not. But sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet and I'm alone in my new apartment, I notice something terrifying. My breathing doesn't sound like it used to. Sometimes it pauses too long. Sometimes it continues when I'm not thinking about it. And sometimes, very faintly, it sounds like it's coming from inside the walls, somewhere far away, practicing, waiting for me to come home.